in Korean and English, but I'll conduct the class mostly in English. Okay, so you can take it. Okay, so let's look at the first page, syllabus. Okay, this is for Introduction to Life Science or Introduction to Biology. Okay, so we meet Tuesday, 11 o'clock until 1, but today the class will be a little bit shorter. So we'll go through chapter 1 today. Okay, so the textbook, you can buy it from bookstores, this one or the 5th edition. Okay, this one, both is okay. Okay, but you have to read the text. So there is no other way. Although I do lecture, but most the questions will come from reading the books. Okay, and I don't think we'll finish the whole book in one semester. We'll go half of it this semester. Okay, so it's not that bad. Okay, so today is first chapter, introduction. Okay, and next week is chapter 2 and 3. So probably one class will cover 2 chapters that will translate into like 10 to 20 pages, the textbook. So you have to read about that much each week. Okay, and if you go all the way, hopefully if the weather is very nice, we can have outdoor class. Okay, and then if you can look at week 7, which is October 15th, which is Tuesday, we'll have midterm exam, which will cover from chapter 1 to chapter 10. Okay, and then the second part of class, hopefully week 14, December 3rd, Tuesday, I'll go over the second part of the class as a review. Okay, and then final exam. Your grade depends on midterm exam about 40%, final exam 40%, and attendance 10%, and homework. What is homework? If you look at the second page, so this is the first week homework. Okay, so it's crossword puzzle. So we'll go over the words today during the class. Okay, let's say across number 3 is a tentative, testable explanation for an observed phenomenon. Anybody can guess? Good. It's a hypothesis. We'll go through. Okay, so you put the hypothesis. Okay, so you finish this one and you will turn in next week. Okay, but you have to write down your name and your student number on top. Okay, the third page. The third page is the difference between these 2 books. Okay, so if you have this book, it's good, the 5th edition. Okay, if you don't have it, you don't want to buy it, then try to find student from life science department. Okay, they might have it. This was textbook for them 2 years ago. So you have to contact somebody, ask them to sell it. Okay, cheaper maybe. And this is previous edition, 4th edition. This is fine. The text is almost the same, but they don't have this summary section at the end of chapter. That's why I'll give you this printout, or I'll upload this file as an online class. You can go into Easy Hub. You can check this class. Every class, I'll put up the lecture note, quiz, and puzzle. Okay, you can download, you can print out, you can hand in next class. Okay, so in this summary, if you follow, the summary is, it's good to read. If you don't, well, you have to read the book, but if you cannot read the book, you can at least should read this summary. Okay, what is science? the nature of biology. And there is a key term, okay? Biology, what is it? Evolution hypothesis. Most of the crossword puzzle coming from these key terms. 내가 얘기하는 거 좀 알아듣겠어요? 네? 전혀 못 알아듣겠어요? 괜찮아요? Okay. So that will help. More important is this multiple choice questions, bottom of the page. Okay? After read and you study the chapter and you have to solve this one because most of these questions will appear in midterm exam or in finals. Okay? That's very important. You have to test yourself. Okay? And you can go back and you read the book again and you have to solve the problem. Okay? Clear? Questions? 질문, 우리말로. 질문. 다 드랍 시킬 것 같은데. Okay, let's go first chapter. Okay, so this is class for introduction to biology, who does not major biology but have experience to taking biology class in high school or maybe as an undergraduate. Any student from chemistry department? Okay. Did you take any biology? No? 1학년 때 배웠어 혹시? 일반 생물학? 1년짜리? 그러면 재미없을 텐데 이거. 다 배워서. How about you? Not yet? How about you? Okay, that's good. All right, so this is so the book, okay, is written by not a scientist. He was a reporter, okay, but he wrote many scientific stories, okay. So the book, if you read, it's a little bit of English, level of English you need, okay, but it explains well, okay, because this book is designed for non-majoring students, okay. So book is very important. You have to read in English, okay. That's the first thing you have to do for this class, okay. Let's see. So the first chapter is about introduction to science as well as to biology. Okay. So how does science impact the everyday world? Why do we have to study science, or at least why biology? Okay. So science plays an increasingly important role in everyday lives of Americans because this book was written in America, but as well as Koreans. Okay. So examples. Until mid-90s, most Americans as well as most Koreans did not use email, okay, and didn't have cell phones and nor internet. But everybody these days has cell phones, okay? So it's a technology, but behind the technology, there is a basic science, okay? So it's safe to say science impact your life, our life, everyday life, okay? Example, this one was the first computer. It's a big computer. Okay, how big? 6 feet tall and many meters big. And people go inside and do the programming. It was 1948, the world's first programmable computer called Baby. But the memory size was 128 byte. Okay, so this is 2010 computer, touchscreen computer. Okay, has memory of 640 megabytes. Okay, so science advanced so fast. Okay, so that advance of technology, advance of the science will impact our life. That's why we have to study science. That's why we have to study biology, even if you are not majoring biology. Okay. Right, so the average American, or maybe Korean too, including me, has uneven knowledge on science. In Korean, 상식이 한쪽으로 몰려 있어. 뭘 상식? 할 수도 있어. About science, okay? So for example, about 80% of adult American who surveyed, okay, they asked questions and they answered, know that continents are moving about the face of Earth. What is it? So in old days, all the continents were in one piece, and then it's broken, and then it's moving apart. Did you know? 알았어? But of those people, still 25% still think Earth is the center of the universe and sun goes around. Right? Is it true? No, it's the other way around, right? Sun is the center of the universe, our universe, and Earth goes around. So the point is we have a little bit uneven knowledge of science. Okay? That's where we are. If you want to know about this, you can look up your book, 5th edition, okay? Page 345, okay? We'll come back to that. So the question is, what is science? Anybody can define science? 과학이 뭐지? Good. 자연 현상을 설명하는 거라 했어요. Whatever it explains the natural phenomenon. Okay. 80점, 80%. Okay. So this book defines science in two ways. Okay. The first one is it's the body of knowledge. What do you mean body of knowledge? It's already accumulated knowledge. Okay. So collection of unified insights about what? About nature. Okay. And the evidence for which is an array of facts based on facts, evidence. Okay. That's the science, because physics, chemistry, mathematics, okay, biology is the new one. Okay. Earth science maybe. It has already accumulated knowledge about nature. Okay, we call that a part of science. Okay. The unified insight of science are known as theories. Okay, so that we have to know about the theories. Okay, a theory is a general set of principles supported by evidence. Okay, that explains more aspects of nature. Okay. Theory is an important keyword, so you have to know about it. Okay, what is it? It's a set of general principles, okay, supported by evidence. What does a theory do? It is try to explain natural phenomena. Okay, but if we converse, everyday converse, we say, "Oh, that's just a theory." 우리말로는 그냥 그 설이야, 설. 그러면 믿어도 되고 안 믿어도 되고 그럴 것 같지만 that's not scientific theory. Okay? Scientific theory is based on supported by evidences. Okay? The second definition of science in this book is it's a way of learning. Okay? Science can also be defined as a way of learning. Okay, a process of coming to understand the natural world through observation and testing of hypothesis. So we say that's very scientific, or okay, 그건 과학적이야. 우리가 얘기하는 거는 믿어도 돼라는 의미로 얘기가 될 수 있어요. 그렇죠? 그러니까 뭔가를 배울 때 이게 과연 과학적인가 하고 물어볼 수 있는 거죠. Okay, so example. The science way of learning. Okay, the first starting point of science is always observation. You have to look something very carefully. Okay, that's the first step. observation. Okay, in this sense, I don't think I'm a good scientist, although I'm a scientist. As a kid, I never pay attention to anything. 별로 관찰을 잘 못했던 것 같아요. 그리고 자연에 대해서 별로 좋아하지도 않았던 것 같고, 우리 딸내미가 강아지 키우자 그러는데 별로 키우기 싫은 것 같고. Anyway, so the first starting point, okay, starting point of science is always observation. And then you have to have a question. Why? Why this thing happen? Okay. And then you come up with hypothesis. You want to explain some way. Okay, that's hypothesis. You can have many different hypotheses. Okay, among those, some of them you can test by experiments. Okay, you can test hypothesis. Okay, and then you can rule out, if do the experiment, say, no, that's not the right answer. That's not the right explanation. Then you can rule out. And you can test another hypothesis. Whatever is supported by, okay, not nullified, not rejected by experiment. Okay, it's a conclusion. Okay, that's hypothesis. So many people will test with experiment, and if the hypothesis stands, okay, by this experiment, that will become a theory. Okay, supported by evidences. Okay, so science works through the scientific method, okay, in which an observation leads to the formulation of a question about the natural world. Okay, again, science is tentative, testable explanation that has not been proven true. Okay, here, the hypothesis. Okay. The hypothesis may be tested through observation or through a series of experiments as aided by statistical procedure. It's too long, but hypothesis is a tentable, testable explanation, okay, that can be tested by experiment. Okay. 여기까지 안 졸리고 잘 왔어? 조금만 더 들으면 졸릴 것 같지? 영어로 하면 금방 졸려. Okay. This is not important. Okay, so example of hypothesis is testing. Hypothesis testing is Louis Pasteur experiment regarding the spontaneous generation of life. Okay, example. It's 1800 sometime. Okay, so the idea is where this life comes from. Okay, so if you have this meat broth, do you know what is broth? 브로스가 뭐야? 국물, 그래, 국물, 그래, 끓인 국물, 그죠? It's a little different from soup. It's similar to soup, but it's meat broth. If you boil it and then let it go and let it sit for a couple of days, what happened? Something will grow in the broth, right? Something will grow, mostly bacteria. Okay, so the question is where this life form, the bacteria, is coming from. Okay, there are two possible hypotheses. One is because there is a nutrients in the broth, they'll just spontaneously arise. Okay, the new life form is coming from just nutrients. Okay, that was the main idea around that time. People thought that way. Okay, so in other words, if you put dirty your underwear somewhere in the closet, and if you leave it long enough, mouse will come out, or something like that. Okay, spontaneously. Okay, the other part is no, life always coming from life. Okay, so that's two ideas. So Pasteur wants to test this idea. Okay, so the phenomenon is like this: if you boil this flask with meat broth, okay, you boil it for a long time, and then let it sit for 2 or 3 days. now you start to see something is growing inside. Okay? So the two hypotheses is it spontaneous, is coming from the broth, or it's coming from somewhere else. Okay, Pasteur thought this is the case. Okay, some bacteria, a microorganism, which we cannot see, is coming from the air. Okay, so how can you test? So he changed the neck of the flask. He bent it. Okay, he bent it. Okay, and then do the exactly same thing. You boil this broth and let it go for a couple of days, and nothing grows. Nothing grows. Okay, so what he did was next, either he cut the neck, okay, or tilt and touch this part, and then put it back and let it sit for a couple of days. Now what happened? Something is growing again. Okay, so what does this prove? Okay, so whatever sits in here, okay, and that's where the life form is. If the broth touches, and from there, they'll start to grow. Okay, agree? Okay, the important thing is doing this experiment. You have to do everything same, except one. Okay, what is one? It's different. You change the shape of flask neck. Okay, that we call it a variable. The rest of it, constant. Everything is the same, and you change one variable. You are testing that variable. Okay? So conclusion, what is conclusion? Conclusion, no growth appears in the broth unless dust, whatever here sits in dust, admitted from outside. Okay? So here's a twist. Why can't you just put a cap on it? If you boil it and you cap it, nothing will grow. Okay? But then the other group who's saying there's spontaneously life form arise argue against that capping. And that says you need something fresh air to, the spontaneous life form start. If you cap it, that air is dead, so that's nothing will grow. That was the argument. So you have to have open space. Okay, that's why Louis Pasteur decided to bend the flask neck instead of capping. Okay? All right. 얼마쯤 알아듣는 것 같아 지금? 한 80%? 100%? 봅시다. All right. In science, every assertion regarding the natural world is subject to challenge and revision. The question is, so let's say Pasteur did the experiment, okay? From that moment on, everybody think, wow, life is coming from life. No, that's not the case. Okay, even if he did succeed in this experiment, some people know something wrong with it, doesn't believe it. So they will still say life is spontaneous. Okay? There's no verdict in science. In other words, there's no scientific court. Let's decide this is true. This is not true. There's no such a thing in science. Okay? What it means is the fact or the theory that we, at this point, we think is true, but it may not be true in the future. Okay? If there's new evidence comes, it will revised. It will be revised. Okay? And it will be challenged. Okay? So that's the characteristic of science. Okay? Same thing. When is a theory proven? Okay? Scientific claims must be falsifiable. In other words, you can test, you can get rid of it, okay, meaning open to negation through scientific inquiry. Okay? Scientific inquiry is limited to investing investigating natural phenomenon as opposed to supernatural. What is natural phenomenon versus supernatural? Supernatural? 뭐지? 귀신 얘기 같은 거. Okay, that's supernatural. That's not the business of science. Science can test, but they cannot say anything about it. Okay, so only focus on natural phenomenon, 자연 현상, okay, natural phenomenon. That's the realm of scientific inquiry. Okay. Any questions? No? So far, so good? Good. Yes?
When you have milk in a closed container, it still goes spoiled?
Right. The question is, if you keep milk, although the milk pack is somehow sterilized when it comes, okay? But how is it goes bad? Okay? So you probably didn't kill all the microorganisms in that milk, okay? And second one, even if you killed all the protein itself, okay? Protein itself can be denatured. But it smells and it goes bad, something is growing, means there were bacteria to start with. Okay? Good question. 또 질문. 내가 다 대답할 수 있을지는 모르겠는데. 없어? 오케이. 우리 얼마나 시간이 됐나? 30분밖에 안 됐어. 야, 이 2시간 떠들려면 힘들겠다. Okay, so now we're moving in from science to biology. Okay, what is the nature of biology? Okay, biology is a part of science, probably the youngest among science. Okay, the oldest one, mathematics, physics, chemistry, maybe then biology. Okay, so biology is the study of life. So what is life? Difficult questions. Okay, we cannot define life. Okay, so the scientist or biologist decide to collect all the characters of living things. Okay, and we can say all the living things have this character and this character, this character, instead of defining life, because it's too difficult to define. Okay? It's more philosophical question, what is life? Okay, what is the meaning of your life? Anybody? Why do you live? What is the purpose of your life? Okay, there is a book called Life Lessons. Has anybody 인생 수업 읽은 사람 있어? No? Okay, it's written by Elizabeth Crippler. Okay, Life Lessons. 영어 책으로 읽어도 되고 번역한 인생 수업이라는 책을 읽어도 돼. It's a good book to read. Okay, so the Elizabeth Crippler, she was a medical doctor in one of the medical school in Chicago. Okay, so her work for 20 years was to interview the patients who are facing death. Okay, so her idea is, if you want to know what is life, okay, you have to ask people who is about to finish their life. Okay, so they may have the right answer. What is life? Okay, so she wrote many cases in those books, and it's good to read for you. Although you think death is far away from you, but that's not the case. I know I'm closer to death than you are, but okay, so it's a good book to read. So what is life? Life is defined by a group of 8 characteristics possessed by living things. So this is the characteristics of all the living things. They all in common. They have these characters in common. The first one is assimilate energy. I know it's lunchtime, right? But you have to eat. Otherwise, you go hungry, okay? Assimilate means to take in and incorporate as one's own. In other words, absorb. You have to have energy, okay? That's the first thing. Assimilate energy, okay? You have to eat. Second, it's respond to their environment, okay? You can see his face, right? Probably, right? So if the needle comes, you go like this, you respond. You respond to stimuli from the environment, okay? Number 3, maintain a relative constant internal environment. Example, our body temperature is very constant, okay? And in this case, he doesn't want to, disturbed by rain, so he hides, okay? So try to keep the constant internal condition. We call it homeostasis, in Korean, 항상성, okay? Internal conditions. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, reproduce, okay? Probably this is the purpose, biological purpose of your life is to reproduce next generation. You may disagree, but this is the biological purpose of your life. I have done my purpose. I have 2 kids, okay? So because you have to inherit your genetic information. You have to inherit DNA, okay, in this world. That's the purpose of your life, biologically, okay? And possess, okay, an inherited information base encoded in DNA that allows them to function. We'll learn details about this DNA, okay? The genetic information is encoded in DNA, okay? So that's one of the characteristics, okay? All the living things are composed of 1 or more cells, okay? Bacteria have only 1 cell, okay? Higher eukaryotes like ourselves have trillions of cells in our body, okay? But nevertheless, the life form is composed of cell or cells, okay? Are evolved from other things. We saw in this experiment, okay? Life form comes from life form, okay? At this point, there's no spontaneous creation of life anymore. Then the question goes back, what about the first life form? We don't know. We don't have answer in biology, okay? We think it may happen in spontaneous way, but we cannot explain at this point, okay? That question goes to, is it evolution or creation? We'll cover sometimes in later chapters. But we know all the life forms coming from life forms, okay? All right. All the life forms are highly organized compared to inanimate object, which means non-living things, okay? Example, what is it? This is peacock, okay? It's displaying his plumage. Okay, it's beautiful. And if you see the pattern, okay, you probably think, how this thing have this complex pattern, right? Right? The answer is evolution, okay? This peacock, is it female or male? Usually male, okay? They display this beautiful or characteristics, okay? Actually, they are risking their lives because if you have this beautiful color, it's good target for predators, right? Even if they can be eaten, but they have to display this one. Why? They want to be selected by their mate. Okay, that's the sexual selection. They're part of natural selection. Okay, so they are highly organized compared to non-living things. Those are the 8 characteristics of living things. Okay. Another characteristic is life is organized in a hierarchical manner. What is hierarchy? Hierarchy is this one. Okay. Ranging increasing complexity from atoms to molecules, molecules to organelles, organelles to cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, organisms, populations, communities, ecosystem, and biospheres. You may have to try to remember this one. Okay. Okay. We start with atom. Okay. Atom is the smallest unit of all the materials. Okay. In this case, hydrogen atom. Okay. Will form a water molecule. 2 hydrogen atom, 1 oxygen, H2O. Okay, is water molecule. Molecules put together small organelle. Organelle means inside the cell there's a small part. Mitochondria, chloroplast, those are, we call it organelle. Okay, small piece. Okay, and organelle form a cell. Okay, now cell is the ultimate smallest unit of life. Before cell, we don't say it's alive. But from cell, now it's alive. Okay? So that's the difference. The cells, several cells, many cells form a tissue. In this case, neuronal cell forms nervous tissue. Okay? Tissues combine into organ. That's your heart, your brain, okay, your muscle. Those are the organ. Okay. Oops. Sorry. So organ connects, and it's organ system. Okay. So if you go to hospital, okay, where do you go? Let's say internal medicine or cardiovasculars. This is organ system. They're looking at your lung and your trachea, your tongue, or whatever. Okay, it's organ system, bigger than organs. Okay, now as an individual, you are an organism. Okay, 개체. Okay, so this one is we have like 60 organisms together. We have student population. We have population. Okay? Population. Community means more than one population live together. Okay? Community, if you go your home, there is students and there is parents, different population. It's community. Okay? And then with non-living environment together, it's called ecosystem. Okay, and the biggest one, what is it? It's called biosphere, which is the Earth. Okay, so in other words, one of the characteristics of biology is what? It's a hierarchy. It has hierarchy. Okay, from small building blocks to more complex units. Okay, so things to remember. What is the basic unit of life? Cell. Okay. All right. Okay. Special qualities of biology. Okay. Until early 19th century, biology was largely descriptive science. That's why science started late compared to physics or chemistry, because old biology is describing things. This organism looked like this. I still remember my general biology lab was you put something, you just drawing, describing. Okay? Biology was the largest descriptive science and mainly catalog describe the Earth living things. In other words, this is a new species and they look different from previous, how they look different, where did they live. Those was old biology. Okay? Now, molecular biology and other development. Okay, biology subject matter, the living world is notable for its complexity and diversity compared to other aspects of natural world. Okay. Okay. So almost getting to the end at this point. Okay. So biology's chief unifying principle is evolution. Okay. What is evolution? Evolution can be defined as gradual modification. It's a slow modification, okay, of population of living things over time. Okay, so what is the unit that evolve? It's not an individual. It's a population that evolve. Okay. This modification sometimes result in development of a new species. Okay, so evolution provides the means for making sense of forms and processes seen in living things on Earth today. What do you mean? If I said again, how this peacock has this beautiful pattern of it, okay, or all this frog has this coloring, or all this tree become so tall. Okay, what is the answer? That's the evolution. Somehow they get this advantage by changing to this way. Okay, that's the one explanation that fits all. Okay, which is evolution. Okay, many next figure like this. You know, all the bees. Okay, they have yellow color, yellow and black. Okay, so many stinging insects with black and yellow stripes look alike. The question is why they become like this. Okay, because of one stinging bee happened to be yellow and black, and that gives the protection against the predators because they remember they were stung once, and this guy is dangerous, yellow and black. And that's why all the stinging bees or some of the non-stinging bees become yellow and black. Okay? So general protection this provides from predators. Okay, that's it for chapter 1. So again, next week, okay, you have to hand in the second page. Let's go to the second page, whether we can solve everything. Get the puzzle. Don't forget to write down your name and number. Okay, across number 3, a tentative, testable explanation for an observed phenomenon. What was it? Hypothesis, HYPO, you write down. Okay. Number 5, across, the fundamental unit of life, cell, CELL. 혹시 부산에서 온 학생 있어? 부산? 셀 발음. 오, 셀 발음 하네. 보통 셀 그렇게 발음하네. 그래. Number 6, the study of life. Biology is one. Number 7, a body of knowledge about the natural world. Science. Okay, one down. An adjustable condition in an experiment. Good. 이 코스 안 들어도 될 것 같은데 다. Number 2, a principle supported by evidence that explained aspect of nature. theory. Okay, number 4, the gradual modification of living things over time. Evolution. 그럼 다 됐네. 다음 시간에 내고. And the last page, you have to read the summary and then multiple choice, you have to solve it. You don't have to hand in this third page. Okay, it's for your records. 집에서 풀어보면 되고, you have to hand in the second page. That's the homework. So every week I will upload this file, okay, into online class. You go in Easy Hub, you check, you will probably find. 누구 한 사람 있어? 했어? Did you download? Yeah, already she downloaded the lecture PPT slides. Okay, 내가 어저께 업로드 했었거든. 그러니까 들어가 보면 있을 거야. 보고 싶으면 찾아보고. Okay, so next week, chapter 2 and 3. It will be a little bit longer class. We'll have 10-minute break in between. But anything else? Any questions? 질문? 없음? Yes. 초자연적인 거하고 자연적을 어떻게 구별하느냐? 책을 잘 읽어보면 어떤 내용이 있냐면, 예를 들어, for example, in Hawaii, okay, so there is a fruit flies, the little flies that comes with bananas. 집에서 바나나 사면 따라오는 조그만 파리 있잖아. Okay, the fruit fly. In Hawaii, there is 400 different species of fruit fly. Okay, that's probably 50% of all the world species in fruit fly. The question is why? Scientific question. Scientists will study to answer that question, right? Maybe inhabitants, they don't have predators, things like that. But supernatural answer will be God designed that way. And you can test, or scientists can test, but you don't have to be scientists to answer that question. That's the point. Okay? Supernatural phenomenon or explanation, we cannot test. Even scientists cannot test. That's the idea. Why the science is focused just on natural phenomena instead of supernatural phenomena. Okay? 책 읽어보면 그 얘기 나와. 또 질문. 끝내기 섭섭한 모양이지, 수업? Yes. 중간고사? 기말고사? 과제? 과제는 2페이지인데? 그거는 과제가 아니고, 내가 과제로 내주는 거는 크로스워드 퍼즐이고, 그거는 거의 여기 있는 키워드에 있는 걸 거야. 막 한두 개 나중에 안 들어가 있는 게 있는 거는 텍스트북에서 찾아보면 대부분 볼드 페이스로 이렇게 돼 있는 단어가 거기에 답일 거야. 오케이? 질문이 됐나? 답이 됐나? 오케이. Any other questions? 중요한 질문. 영어로 하는 이유가 절대평가이기 때문에. 다른 똑같은 과목 생활 속에 만나는 생물학은 상대평가라서 피보는 학생들이 있어요. 근데 영어라서 좀 나을 거고, 중요한 거는 출석수는 맞춰야 됩니다. 출석수는 안 맞추면 내가 F를 줄 수밖에 없어요. 그 다음에 최선을 다해서 시험 공부하고 시험 중간고사, 기말고사 보면 절대평가로 성적이 나갑니다. 영어, 문제 다 영어야. 답도 영어로 써야 되는데 고르기만 하면 될지도 모르지. Multiple choice. 영어로 써도 단답형. What is the unit of life? 셀. 오케이? 오케이. 다음 시간에 봅시다, 그러면. 오케이.